Georgia's always got replacements, don't they? Welcome to the Voice of College Football, Talking Dogs. We got Anthony Dasher on the line, UGAsports.com on Rivals. Check out his work right there. Anthony, what's going on today?
Mark, just living the dream, man. Just living the dream.
You're the one.
Yeah, so far.
Very nice. Love it. Well, before we get to spring football and previewing some of these positions on offense, wanted to get your take on, of course, Todd Monken moves on to the Baltimore Ravens. Mike Bobo, if there ever was a dog, he's a dog. Played for the
Yeah.
Dogs, offensive analyst forever again under Mark Richt, offensive coordinator for 8 seasons, back with the team. And, I think we could have read the writing on the wall in regards to him being kind of the offensive coordinator in waiting.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this came as absolutely no surprise. I mean, also what wasn't a surprise was Todd Monken moving on. I mean, he had been rumored to be, looking around to get back to the NFL, and he interviewed with Tampa. He interviewed with obviously Baltimore. They brought him in for a second. I think both teams brought him in for a second interview before deciding to go with the Ravens. And that leaves Mike Bobo, who was an analyst this past season. Was an offensive coordinator for Georgia for 8 years before he went to Colorado State as a head coach. Was there for 5. Was fired. Came in, worked as the offensive coordinator for Brian Harsin for 1 year at Auburn. Was fired from there. Went to South Carolina and worked for Will Muschamp. Before Muschamp was fired, he became interim coach. And then, Coach Will is back at Georgia now as a co-defensive coordinator, and Mike Bobo is now Georgia's offensive coordinator, which kind of brings the whole trilogy of Smart, Muschamp, and Bobo back together again after all 3 of those guys played together at UGA and are best friends and all that kind of thing.
Anthony, people still look at Georgia offense across the nation as run, beat up the other team, play action. And that is very true to a certain extent. And Kirby Smart always wants to have a physical offensive line run this team on the offensive side of the ball. But I think people might be surprised how much they opened it up this past year, especially, and almost threw for 300 yards a game.
No doubt about it. I mean, this wasn't your father's Georgia offense this past year, especially, even going back to 2021. I don't have the exact percentages in front of me here right now, but it was almost 50-50 as far as passing and run goes. I mean, you'll see Georgia do a lot of RPOs, throwing on first down. And when you've got, talents like Brock Bowers at tight end, you want to try to get that young man the football as much as possible. And Georgia also does a lot of, as we've seen the last 2 years of James Cook and Kenny McIntosh, throw the ball a lot out of the backfield. I mean, just get the ball to the playmakers. That's their plan. That's what they try to do. I mean, get the ball to the guys who can put the ball, in the end zone. It used to be like, I think even back before when Coach Bobo was offensive coordinator the first time around, was definitely more of a run first team. But with him working with Coach Monken this past year, and I mean, he was able to see for himself the talent that Georgia now has on offense. It's going to be a little different look. And actually, I think it's going to be probably more of the same for what Georgia fans have seen for the past 2 years as far as how Georgia's offense is going to be operating, next season.
Aaron Murray threw for a couple of yards here and there. He did all right. So yeah, they could spin it then as well. Do you expect Mike Bobo to do anything that would be kind of his signature stamp on this offense, or just kind of these, why mess with a good thing?
I don't think he's going to mess with a good thing right now. I mean, he may be a few more, runs, I guess, if you want to call it that. But again, they've got so many playmakers. I mean, Mike Bobo's not stupid. I mean, he's going to get the ball to the guys who, again, like I said earlier, can put the football in the end zone. With a guy like Brock Bowers, Lab McConkey, I mean, those young men will be getting plenty of opportunities.